Hey YouTube fans, welcome back to Cruising with Wheels. I'm Frank and I'm doing another episode of Tales from the High Seas. Now as you know, or may not know, Kevin and I just got back from our 10-day Eastern Caribbean cruise aboard the NCL Gem, and it really was a fun time. But boy do I have some crazy stories, and the one I'm going to tell you about is really just kind of outrageous. And it happened on Valentine's Day, February 14th. And Kevin and I decided to go to the Magenta Dining Room to have a nice romantic dinner for two. It's a nice, intimate setting, a very small dining room, not a lot of people, and that's why we kind of chose it. Now, what happened was was making our blood boil, and let me tell you, before I get into that, I need a drink. So, let me have a sip. Okay, this is what happened. Now, we were down to the restaurant about 5:30, and we get there, and we're about the third couple in line. And we waited a few minutes until they finally opened the doors. So the doors open, the hostess comes out, the restaurant manager's there in his nice, sexy navy blue uniform. And, you know, we go right in, and they seat Kevin and I at a nice table for two toward the back, right at the window. And you know what happens, you know, when they seat you. You know, the water people show up, their bread basket comes to the table, all within like the first 5-10 minutes. So we're sitting there and we're thinking, wow, how nice, and we're all wearing red for Valentine's Day. And there's a woman who is sitting at a table for two, and she's behind Kevin. Now I'm sitting where I can see the entire restaurant, but Kevin has his back to everything, so he can only hear. Now she's at the table behind him. So now our waiter comes over, and he's like, oh, how are you? Happy Valentine's Day. And, well, he takes our order. So we're sitting there and looking out the window at the water, and I see another waiter, and he walks up to this woman's table behind Kevin. Now, she's probably, I'm going to say, 60s, maybe 70s. She kind of had longish gray hair. And he walks over to her table, and he's like, good evening, how may I take your order? And she starts screaming. I've been sitting here for 25 minutes. Where the hell have you been? What am I supposed to be doing? Why haven't you come here to take my order? And we're sitting there going, what is she talking about? She was like right behind us. We've only been here like 5-10 minutes max. And she's railing. And she's like, what's wrong with you? Don't you speak English? I can't understand a word you say. What's wrong with you? This is outrageous. And she's going on and on. Well, Kevin was like ready to reach for a bottle of something and just turn around and whack her over the head. And I'm like kind of holding him from underneath the table going, oh, don't start anything, okay? We don't want an international incident, okay? It's Valentine's Day. Everyone's in here to enjoy a dinner. Let's not make things worse. Well, she just went on, and that poor waiter, God bless him, he had the patience of a saint. He stood there, he smiled, and he was like, I am so sorry. I will take your order. What can I get? And he was just like, you know, I'm sure he wanted to kill her like we did, but he was so pleasant and so nice. And he walked away, and we thought, what a bitch! What is wrong with her? I mean, she's just nasty, abusive. I mean, there was just no call for it. And so Kevin and I were like, oh my God. And we were almost like doing the, you know, Justice League Unite. We will stand up for justice injustice wherever we see it. You know, we're going to speak up. So I said, you know, if I see the restaurant manager, I'm going to say something, because this isn't right. She wasn't just like nasty. She was abusive. And there was just no call for it. So we see the restaurant manager. He kind of walks by us, and he is talking to the table for two behind us. So when he was done and he was walking back, I kind of did this, and I said, excuse me, I motioned him over and I said, are you the restaurant manager or maitre d' or whatever? And he's like, yes. And I said, listen, I just want to tell you, this woman over here is so nasty and abusive to this poor waiter. And I just want to tell you that in the midst of all of that, he never once flinched. He maintained his composure. He was so nice and pleasant and smiling. I mean, he was like a saint. And I said, and I know people like her, because she'll be the first one up there to be bitching and moaning about how nasty he was. And I said, and I just want to let you know that we heard and everyone else heard everything. And he was as nice as could be. And so he said, well, thank you. I thank you for saying that and letting me know. No sooner did he kind of stand up and was walking away, passing her table, when she went, excuse me, snapping her fingers and called him over. I thought, oh, here we go. And so she started railing at the maitre d', saying how awful the waiter was. And he kind of looked over at me and kind of like, uh-huh, exactly what you said she was going to do. And I kind of looked at him like, there you go. Just like I said. Knew what was going to happen. So he listened, did his usual, I'm so sorry, and apologized, for which there was nothing to apologize for, and off he went. Well, it seemed right after that, everybody and their uncle was going to the table to serve her. There were other officers in their blue uniform suits. Other servers were there, and I thought, they're probably doing this to support the poor waiter so that he wasn't going to be alone in this nightmare. And everybody kept different, there was like 5, 6 different people going to her table, bringing her bread and bringing her. It was really weird because all I saw were these plates of lemon wedges, just constantly plates of lemon wedges. And I thought, what is she doing? What is she opening up her own lemonade stand? I mean, what is up with that? And they would come and she had a bottle of like sparkling water that was in an ice bucket behind her, and they were constantly going there and picking it up and pouring water for her, and I mean waiting on her hand and foot. And I think that's exactly what she wanted. Go in, make a scene, bitch and moan and be a real asshole, and everyone will wait on you hand and foot. And she got exactly what she wanted, which was the attention. So we were eating our meal and we were kind of done, and we ordered our dessert. And I ordered I think I ordered this really great strawberry Napoleon. It was awesome. And Kevin ordered something, I don't remember what it was. And they brought us the dessert, but they also brought us, because it was Valentine's Day, this cute little heart-shaped cheesecake on a platter. And in chocolate on the plate was written, Happy Valentine's Day. And it was a complimentary heart cheesecake, I guess, for everybody at dinner tonight. So we ate our dessert, and of course we ate the cheesecake. And so then we see the waiter go over to that bitch's table. And it's time for her, I guess, to order her dessert. And so he's asking, for dessert, and she ordered something, and it must have been something in French. And he said, oh, you mean, blah, blah, blah. And she started screaming at him. How dare you? Don't you dare correct me. What's wrong with you? You don't even speak English. This is outrageous. You just take my order and shut up. And she was going on and on. So she ordered her dessert, and she said, and I want to make sure that I get that heart-shaped cheesecake that every other table is getting. And I want it too. And he, of course, okay, no problem, took her order and left. So we were sitting there, and we were done, but we wanted to see how this was all going to play out, wondering if anyone was going to get up and kill this woman, drag her out of the restaurant, throw her overboard. So we're waiting, we're just kind of hanging out, sipping our water, and he brings her, she ordered several desserts, and then brought her the heart-shaped complimentary cheesecake. And so there were like 3 platters in front of her of desserts, and he walks away. And then all of a sudden, she gets up, gets her wrap in her purse, and walks out of the restaurant, and didn't touch a damn thing of what she ordered. It was like she just made a big scene about dessert, a big deal about the cheesecake that she wanted like everybody else, got what she wanted, and then just sauntered her nasty ass out of the restaurant. And we were like, are you kidding me? What a bitch. So we wrap up, we say goodbye to our waiter friends and whatever, and we're kind of rolling out, and we pass the table that's kind of across from us from a couple that we've met on the cruise, and we're like, did you hear and see all that? And they were like, oh my God, what was wrong with her? And everybody was like, once that woman left, they were all like, you know, talking about her. It was so, I was so embarrassed. I felt so bad for the waiter and the entire staff, and there was just no reason for it. So we left, and of course, you know, went to the casino. We walk into the casino, and Kevin's like, okay, we're going to go over and play my favorite machine. I'm like, okay. So I'm rolling through the casino. We get to the machine. He goes, no fucking way. I'm like, what? Isn't that gray-haired bitch sitting on his machine? And he's like, that bitch is on my machine. I'm going to go. I go, no, you're not going to go railing after her. Let's go find another machine. But you know what? We never saw her after that. And there was like 3 to 4 more days left on the cruise. We never saw her again. I never saw her out and about on the ship. We never saw her at any of the restaurants or specialty restaurants anywhere. So I don't know what happened, but you know, was she alone on this cruise? I mean, I don't know what the deal was, but she was the nastiest bitch we have ever seen. And I want to say kudos to the staff of the restaurant on the NCL Gem, who did an awesome job in keeping their cool amidst this horror nightmare. And, you know, we left the restaurant. Well, you know, we did before we went to the casino. We had our picture taken because outside they had a photographer. So we had some Valentine pics, and maybe Kevin will post some of them. So on behalf of Kevin and myself from Cruising with Wheels, we want you to travel safe and cruise often. And remember, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and like this video. Check out all the links to all the social media that we're on. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So, we'll see you next time. Have a good one.